Everyone's talking about Gen Z being different. But here's the real story buried in the data. They're having 40% less sex than millennials did at the same age. Here is why it matters. Everyone blames dating apps and social media, but the real cause runs much deeper. It's economic anxiety, climate doom, political chaos, and a generation that watched adults completely mess up the world. Why would you prioritize hookups when you can't afford rent? Why date when democracy feels like it's collapsing? Journalist Carter Sherman spent months interviewing over 100 Gen Z individuals for her book, The Second Coming. What she found wasn't a generation of prudes, it was a generation making calculated choices. They're the first generation to grow up with unlimited access to pornography, setting impossible expectations. They survived a pandemic during their peak social development years. They're drowning in student debt while watching climate disasters unfold in real time. And they're being told by dating apps that love is a swipe right commodity. So they're opting out. But while older generations panic about birth rates and the future of romance, they're missing the bigger picture. This generation is saying, maybe bringing kids into this economic and environmental mess isn't responsible. They're choosing financial stability over family planning, mental health over hookup culture, intentional relationships over casual encounters. And here's what the data shows. They're not necessarily unhappy about it. They're channeling energy into careers, activism, and personal growth in ways previous generations didn't prioritize at 22. But this shift has massive implications. Lower birth rates mean fewer workers, smaller tax bases, and more elderly people to support. Housing markets designed for nuclear families suddenly don't make sense. Healthcare systems built around traditional relationship timelines need to adapt. Social security calculations based on population growth start falling apart. When an entire generation approaches intimacy differently, every institution feels it. The sexual revolution? Gen Z's version is choosing when not to participate. And that choice is reshaping society whether we're ready or not. So the question isn't whether Gen Z is normal. The question is whether our systems can adapt to their reality. Thank you for watching Why It Matters. What do you think? Do you think Gen Z's approach to relationships is a smart adaptation or a concerning trend? Let us know in the comments. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for more, and follow us on Instagram and TikTok.